Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Prenton Preview.
One this time. McCarrick! Yeah! 1-0 to Tranmere! Oh my word! Barlow! They've got a ball! Colin Jennings, James Norwood! James Norwood has scored it! Reece with the cross, the header, it's in! It's Colin Jennings!
Coming up on today's episode, Scott Davis answers questions about his teammates from the latest episode of the Rovers Ramble. We have a Q&A with Joe Murphy. We go inside the campus to see how the boys are preparing for Saturday, and we get the pre-match thoughts of Ross Doohan and Mickey Mellon. Scott Davis was our latest guest on the Rovers Ramble podcast. We asked him some questions about his teammates from over the years.
Before we do finish, we're going to go through a bit of a quick fire teammates, if that's okay.
No problem.
We normally do it for this season players, but we're going to open it out to over the last 5-6 years for you if you want to answer anyone beforehand. So the first one we've got is, who's the grumpiest teammate you played with?
Grumpiest? Whoa. Probably. I don't know, actually. But no, grumpy or angry? McNulty can be grumpy. It also can be a very, very funny and outgoing, but yeah, if he's not in a good mood, he'll let you know.
Next one is, who's the funniest you played with?
Andy Mangan, hands down.
I knew that was
hands down. Honestly, wow, my God, what a character! I phone him now just to have a little pick me up every couple of days, mate. Just a little 10 minutes on the phone with him just to cheer me up. If I'm feeling low, Andy Mangan's on my speed dial to cheer me up.
We've got a recording of I think it was the end of season awards a few years ago when he got up and done the auction. We've still got a recording of that, and I do watch that every now and then just for a laugh.
Oh mate, what a guy, man! What a guy.
Are there any particularly Andy Mangan moments that you're able to share with us? I'm sure there's many.
You know what, mate? I must admit, I don't think I could share many of them. Someone said this to me the other day. You have to write a book about your career and all the stories you've got. And it was over a pint when we were talking about it. But I said, mate, I actually don't think I could put 90% of my stories in the book. Like they're probably not PG enough to go in. But no, man, what a character. He likes to get his clothes off from time to time. He likes to, there's a few funny. Tried to wrestle me once though. He tried to claim that he was like, he used to call it, he'd say, I can put anyone in the guillotine and I'll make anyone tap out in 2 seconds. So I ended up having a wrestle with him in the gym and made him tap out in about 3 seconds. So, but I think he said it. There was a reason why. But what a character, man! What a fella.
Next one we've got is, was there anyone that was always looking in the mirror? Who's the vainest person you played with?
Whoa, Kieran Morris is probably up there. I mean, the fella went to Turkey for a new hairdo, didn't he?
That's what everyone says.
He's not the only one, but yeah, Kieran. He's always like this, yeah.
Joe Murphy said he was checking to see if there's new sprouts growing out from his head.
You know what though? I must admit, Joe Murphy's hair is always perfect, mate. Like I've never seen it on a bad day. Even in the rain, he must have that much hairspray in it. It doesn't move in the rain, mate. I was almost a little bit in awe of it, Bob. Honestly,
we've had fans calling for him to shave it off, like
Joe.
Yeah, we've had fans saying because of his graphic.
No comment.
Next one, toughest.
Maka. Yeah. I once had a boxing match with Maka. So we went to the boxing gym on a day off, and all the lads have gone to the boxing gym. So I've called out Maka. Come on, then, Matt, me and you will get in the ring, and we. So it was at Sean Trodden's gym. So we. I
think I was there.
Oh, mate. Yeah. So we've got in the ring, and just as he's like, the guy's not even said go, so I just jumped straight in with a jab. So I boxed his head off for about 3 minutes, but I managed to hit him, so his head guard turned around, so he couldn't actually see me. So I must have landed about 100 punches on him. And then he went, right, stop. So he said, so then he took his head guard off. He threw the head guard on the floor and went, right, I'm ready. And the next thing he's come to see, come steaming into me. I think I fell through the ropes.
Yeah, I think I was there filming that for some reason. I think I remember him threatening me if I didn't stop filming, he'd wrap the tripod.
Mate, do you know what it was like? When you took that head guard off, it was like you'd poked the bear. I thought, oh no, what have I done? What have I done? Next thing, these haymakers are coming all over me. By the way, we got out of the ring and laughed our balls off about it. You know what I mean? We were good pals, so it was all for team spirit, I suppose.
Who was the quickest?
Quickest, Norwood. Although, remember a lad called Darren Stevenson?
Yeah.
He was rapid. Speedboat, no driver, but he was fast.
On the flip side of that, who's the slowest?
Oh, lovely fella.
Who's the slowest?
Well, you know what? Probably Ride's turns the slowest. He was always a bit of a truck, weren't he, Ride? He was one of them that he'd need 80 yards to get going. But he had big wide backsides, didn't he? But Ride, maybe Richie Sutton. He won't agree with that, but yeah. Surprisingly, Macca wasn't the slowest. Macca was always all right over 10 yards. You'd get him over. I'd probably beat him over 50 yards, but over 10 yards, Macca were all right. But yeah, I'd probably say Ride.
Yeah, that's what I always thought, because I'd seen Macca play at Prenton Park a few times before he came to Tranmere. There was one time when we were in like League Two the season we went down. We had like George Green. He was like a bit up front. I remember thinking, just send the balls over the top to him, and he'll just steam past you. That Steve McNulty, but no, I don't think he got kicked, to be honest.
That's the perception people had of Macca, though, mate. But like, obviously, it's just he only looked like that in a footy kit. He never off the pitch. He's in good nick. He's like, honestly. So he was just one of them people. When you put a footy kit on, he looked a bit different, but like read the game unbelievably. Wasn't slow, strong in the air. Like, but people turned up on the game and thought, we'll get the better of him today. And how many did? None. Do you know what I mean? Very few anyway.
Who was the marathon runner who ran the most?
Perkins.
Yeah, what was going to be?
No, remember, after the game, people would be clapping the fans and he was running down the tunnel.
I remember his
I once dropped him off in Preston, mate. We were stuck in traffic. And he had his full Tranmere traffic on in his backpack and he was getting the train from Preston. And because we were stuck in traffic, he just went, I'll get out here. And the next thing, I've watched him run right through Preston city centre with his bag on his back, mate. He just ran everywhere, yeah.
Next one, who's best and worst dancer you've seen?
Best and worst dancer? I'm not normally in a state to actually comment on people dancing when I'm out, so I've just put it out there. Joe Murphy's the best, actually. Yeah, Joe's got a little... It's only a shuffle. But it's a good shuffle. Probably the worst. Yeah, I've not got much coordination when it comes to dancing. I'm the dad dancer. I'm the old arms come out in there. I'm that one where your son tells your dad to stop it.
Last two now. Future manager out of anyone you've played with?
Couple. Yeah, I think Macca will have a crack at it. I think Mangy will have a crack at it. Jay Spearing, potentially, and definitely Peter Clark.
And then the final one, I know players like onto this one, is who's been the worst dressed you've ever seen at the club?
Whoa, worst dressed. You know what, mate? It's hard thinking this on the spot, isn't it? Richie Sutton. In fact, Richie Sutton, without a doubt. He had a black tracksuit once that was like he'd had it on that long that it was grey. It was grey, and he had these trainers, mate. Oh God, yeah, terrible taste. He used to wear t-shirts that almost looked like a bit of a tea towel or a placement mat. Shocking taste in clothes, Richie Sutton. But one of them fellas that thought he was the days that he had a go, and he actually thought he looked good. When everyone was like, no. But what a character though he was. He was probably up there with one of the funniest. Yeah, good lad, Richard.
All of our questions. Thanks very much for coming on, Scott. I'm sure speak for everyone that says thank you for everything you've done for the club, and I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to seeing you at Prenton Park whenever that may be.
No, brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, again, just glad to say thanks to everyone, thanks to the fans, thanks to everyone within the football club that made me so welcome over the years, and we shared some special times and times I'll take with me for the rest of my life. So yeah, thank you all, even you both.
It was great catching up with Scott, and if you want to see the full episode of that Rovers Ramble podcast, it's available to members now on our YouTube channel, so click join to find out more. Next up on today's episode, we asked you for questions on social media to ask goalkeeper Joe Murphy. Let's see how he got on answering them.
Joe, thanks for sitting down for us and answering the fans' questions today. First one we've got sent in, it says, that penalty save versus Oxford in the Cup on your debut, was it pure luck, or did you study where you were going to kick it before?
No, I don't think there was studying penalties back then, to be honest. I think it was a bit of luck. And that sort of sent me on the way to getting a decent run in the team. But I remember it well, like the lad's name was Murphy as well, that took the penalty. So it was a surprise to be in the team, but no, just pot luck, I think. So, but it was a good start.
Scott has asked, what made you want to be a goalkeeper when you first started playing?
I wasn't a keeper until I was went in goal officially, I don't know, 12, 13 I think I was. Used to play left back, but I used to love diving around, used to be the scruffiest kid ever. So, but always enjoyed it. And then went in from 12, 13 and then come over here when I was 15. So I hadn't played in goal that long.
Alex has asked, your favourite player when you was growing up?
I'm a Liverpool fan. So it's probably, someone like John Barnes, maybe something like that. Always stood out. Ian Rush, people like that, just being a Liverpool fan.
Any goalkeeper idols?
Not really, no.
No.
Like I said, I wasn't. Yeah. To be honest, Schmeichel, I think, changed the game a bit, didn't he? Especially in England, with his, his saves and the way he commanded the box and just his manner, I suppose. But no, I wasn't into goalkeeping back then, mate.
Dan's asked, what's your favourite Tranmere shirt ever? Assume that you've wore in goal.
Me personally,
yeah.
I had a black kit. I think it was probably the second year, it was probably 1920. It was the Zara one, but it was black and black. I like black, it's quite slim and What are you laughing at?
Scott's asked, what is your favourite flavour of crisps?
This is a regular one, one, isn't it?
So what do people want to know?
Yeah. I don't know, actually, probably just like maybe salt and vinegar or something. I like the kettle crisps and stuff like that, but I could get through a fair few packets like easy.
Oliver's asked, what's your favourite holiday of all time?
We have to be somewhere with the kids. We went to Turkey, it'd probably be the last one, whatever, many years ago it was. We went to Turkey, really nice, good hotel, good for the kids. That was probably the best one, I'd say.
Rob has asked, Guinness original or extra cold?
I'm not a massive Guinness drinker, but I'd go extra cold, but it'd have to be from back in God's country, I think.
Right. Graham has asked, would you rather be the richest man 1,000 years ago or an average person on an average wage today?
Average man on an average wage today.
Don't fancy living 1,000 years ago.
People might say, I look 1,000-year-old, but no, I think an average man today.
JJ has asked, have you got any superstitions before a game?
I listened to Tom Davis, oh my God. No, I was a little bit, I wouldn't say superstitious when I was younger. Everything needed to be right on a match day. Wouldn't say superstitious, like my warm-up had to be right, but now as you get older, I think, especially as a keeper, you just go with the flow, I think.
Never any temptations to mess with anyone else's superstition, or was that a bit too far?
No, I don't think so, because I know how messed up it would get them, you know what I mean? So, no, I don't. I think you can leave them oddballs to themselves.
Ethan's asked, one piece of advice you'd give to young keepers.
That's a difficult one, because there's lots of advice you can give. I've noticed I've trained with lots of goalkeepers that have got lots of ability but are very, very quiet on the pitch, and to have the ability is great because they've obviously worked on that, but don't let their voice hold them back. It's the easiest thing to talk and communicate, and it's all I've done throughout my career, and I feel like it's got me to where I am now at 40 years of age, still in the game. So probably, be nice and vocal, even if you're 7, 8 year old, if you can try and be vocal, that's what I'd probably say.
John Carroll has asked, why is Mark your favourite coach driver?
I don't know, we had 2 buses for a couple of weeks while COVID was going on, and Mark was great, you know, he looked after us, and poor John, you know, he might be out the door next year, so if Mark gets, you know, his feet under the table, I'll be happy with that.
Zach's asked, what's your favourite Tranmere game ever you've been involved in?
That's difficult. Probably my debut was good back in '99. I enjoyed that. You know, we had a couple of good cup runs. Enjoyed some of them games as well. The Wembley game was obviously massive, one of the biggest ones in the club, I suppose. But looking back, I probably should have done better in that game. So, and then there's been a few. You know what? I really enjoyed the first game of the season at home. I just thought more for the fans, you know, it's like they've been away for so long, and for me personally to be in the team was great to get the win, but I just thought the atmosphere was great just to have the fans back. I'm sure they all enjoyed it.
Final one from Paul Davis. He asked, did you ask the barber for a show back and sides and a bit off the floor?
You know, he works for me now as a coach. That's him sacked. What you mean? My hair looks great, doesn't it? Look at it, it's fine. No, yeah, listen, I've probably passed me last haircut about 8-10 years ago, but we can't all go to Turkey, mate, can we?
Before we go inside the campus, Uber Eats have got an offer for the Super White Army to enjoy. Use the code on screen now for 30% off, and a massive thank you to Uber Eats for their support. Now we go inside the campus to see how the boys are preparing for our trip to Northampton on Saturday. It's second versus third on Saturday at Six Fields. Let's get the pre-match thoughts of Ross Doohan and Mickey Mellon before the match.
And before the last 4 games or so, you did have a relatively comfortable position in terms of second in the table. As players, have you had a look at the table over the last few results, given how tight it is?
You're always going to look at the table, to be honest with you, but the main thing is just focus on ourselves, and that's the most important thing, just between us and focus on ourselves, because we can only affect what we do, really. So just take it as it comes, and just main focus is at Tranmere right now.
Just finally from me, Ross, how confident are you overall that the squad can overcome this run of results at the moment and then finish the season strongly to give yourselves the best possible chance of promotion?
Yeah, I'm very confident with it, to be honest with you. The group of players we've got here, great group of players, nice group, good players, and we've shown that before, putting the position we're in, that we can do it. So I don't see any reason why not.
This weekend's game, as Chris has already said, it's a top of the table clash. It's going to be a really important game. What kind of game do you expect this weekend?
I think it's going to be a very tough game. Two good sides going at it, but I feel that that's the case every week here since I've moved down here. Obviously, League Two has been new to me since my first time down south, but I just feel every game's a tough game, so you just need to prepare and focus that and just mainly focus on the game. But I reckon it'll be a really good game Saturday.
Looking at Saturday, Northampton themselves, they're winless in 3 games as well. Even with 12 games to go this season, can this be described as a promotion 6-pointer, do you feel?
You can see now with the results, the way they go, how tense this stage of the season is, and why we were so distraught that people didn't value the last 12 games of the season when they demoted us. You can see what happens now. So it really is ridiculous now when you think back to that now, that with 12 games to go now, who is guaranteed anything? Because you see what happens now with the results. So that's why we were so angry at the time of how flippantly people believed that that's the way that the season would go. You're coming into a really difficult time now. Everybody's really fighting and scrapping, and the games are going to go a certain way, where a lot of people desperate for results. So you have to find a way of playing that type of football under intense pressure, which is always there, because you know the value of every game. Like you said on Saturday, it's another massive 3 points for both football clubs. So we'll be ready for that, and we'll go and fight for the valuable 3 points, and we'll hopefully be triumphant at the end.
And even if you look at Forest Green as well, they're winless in 4 games as well, being in first place. So it does emphasise just how tough it's going to be until May, doesn't it?
It's a tough time of the season, it really is, for a whole host of reasons. Pitches changing, environment changing, everybody's sort of still fighting for different prizes, whether that be relegation, playoffs, or winning the leagues, or promotion, whatever. So it's a real heads down time of the season where everybody's just giving everything they've got. So it always is. So you just got to make sure that you come out on the right end of that.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Prenton Preview, and have a safe trip down to Northampton if you're travelling. Let's make sure we get right behind the lads and hopefully come back with 3 points.
One this time. McCann! Yeah! 1-0 to Tranmere!